These are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our training today. Today's going to be a very unique kind of training because I want to give you 10 business survival tips during the coronavirus. So, for those that don't know me, I actually lost my business in 2008 in the mortgage crisis. I was a mortgage broker in the wrong place, the wrong time. And I've lived through this before and made a bunch of mistakes. Now, we help businesses get capital. And so I've had the benefit of being able to spend the last 12 years building a stockpile of funding options to be able to help entrepreneurs succeed during this time. And there's a lot of things we're doing right now that I've learned historically to do that I know a lot of people that are facing this kind of uncertainty aren't sure what to do. So today I'm going to be diving into talking about business survival tips during the coronavirus. Now, this is a very unique kind of presentation because typically most of the streaming that I do in places like YouTube, I'm actually talking about business credit. I'm talking about financing. This is my usual hidden coaching training that's only available for our clients and partners. And for the very first time ever, I think this is so important that I'm actually streaming this live on YouTube to make it publicly available to others outside of our own private network. So, that being said, let's jump in and let's talk a little bit more about how you can make it through, not just survive, but thrive during this crisis. So, first of all, it's really important that everybody stay informed and understand exactly what's going on. And there's two links here that are worthy of taking a picture of so you can do exactly that. So there's a lot of people that have a lot of questions right now about what all of this is about. And here's the easiest way to explain it. First of all, Johns Hopkins has a great assessment that they keep track of, that a lot of the news media sources that you're hearing all these statistics are coming from. And you could take a screenshot of the URL and visit this. And this gives you an idea of how many confirmed cases of the coronavirus there are, and deaths, and how many people have recovered. And you can even break it down into the country. You can even look and see based on your state. Now, this is where a lot of the news sources are getting their current information from. So if you want to stay informed of what's going on with the virus itself, this is a great resource to check out. Now, I also have another resource here, and you might want to take a screenshot of this from the UK, but this is very important because a lot of people right now, don't understand why the government so abruptly started making the changes they made. And it's all because of this. It's all because of one study that was just released and that the government knew was coming out that outlined a lot of crazy things that when the United States got a hold of, immediately started doing all kinds of things like limiting group gatherings and all these changes that we've seen take place. It all comes from one study. And as an entrepreneur, it's very worth your time to look at this study because this is why all of these decisions are being made is based on the information in this 20-page report. Very digestible. And I know the link is very, very, very long, but it's worth taking a screenshot of. You can also just come in and look for the name of the report, which is right there. Okay, so this is the name of the report, and if you look at this, it's going to give you a lot of insight to why we're seeing all the changes that we are. As entrepreneurs, we need to know about what's going to affect our business because it affects our finances, it affects our employees, it affects our customers, and a lot of what's changing in the United States is all as a result of this. And here's a couple of the points that you need to make from the report. In total, and this is a quote from the report, in an unmitigated epidemic, we would predict approximately 2.2 million deaths in the U.S., not accounting for the potential negative effects of health systems being overwhelmed on mortality. So, this is where the U.S. government started to take serious actions, is when this report came through and concluded that we're looking at about 2.2 million deaths in the United States if no action was taken. There's something else very important in this report you should know about. It's the last part of this. Not accounting for the potential negative effects of health systems being overwhelmed. That's what's going on. A lot of people think we're trying to wait this virus out to see if it goes away. I got something to tell you. It ain't going away. It's here to stay. What they're trying to do is they're trying to not overwhelm the healthcare system. So these quarantines and locking down gatherings of large amounts of people, what they're trying to do is help reduce the death rate, but they're also, more important, trying to reduce the overwhelm to the healthcare system by spreading out the number of people that are infected over a period of time so our hospitals don't collapse, especially intensive care units. Here's another quote from it. We find that the optimal mitigation policies might reduce peak healthcare demand by 2/3 and deaths by half. This is where the US government started to make all of these changes that are scaring so many people. After seeing this report, they realized that these stats are showing that there is a 2/3 reduction on the healthcare system if certain steps are taken, and we can potentially reduce deaths by half. Now keep in mind, a reduction of deaths by half is still looking at over 1 million. But again, this is where we started to make changes. So what changes did they make? These are the changes that the report talks about. Any of this stuff seem familiar to you? Closure of schools and universities, social distancing. Okay, so again, if you want to know where the news media is reporting, this is where they're getting their data. And I find if you go to where they're getting their data, that you can really keep up to speed with why these things are happening. So again, in order to reduce the reduction to the overload to the healthcare system, in order to reduce deaths, they're coming in and suggesting that these type of things take place, which is why the US government has taken so many kinds of actions. Now, a lot of people ask about, what is this? What are the death rates on this thing? Here it is. From the same report, this gives you an idea, and we hear a lot of things about our elderly being affected. It's pretty big. I've seen anywhere from 9 to 15% death rates with people that are over 80 years or older, and you can see the death rates beyond this. Now, you might be looking at this, okay, and this is 40 to 49. That's my age rate, 0.15% or 0.15, okay? But I can tell you, compared to influenza, it's 1/10 of that. So what I've seen is this. For my age and younger ages, the death rate of this compared to the flu is about 10x, just roughly, from what I've seen comparing my age group to others. The problem is, when you start to get to 70 and older, it's substantial. It's 100 times plus rates of fatality when you get to the older population. So again, this is where the data comes from, and it's a good idea to look at these two things, to keep an eye on what's going on and to understand why we're experiencing all these changes. It really sums it all up and explains it. Keeping informed is so important for you to be able to make it through this as an entrepreneur. Now, beyond this, let's talk about what you need to do now. The number one thing anybody should be doing right now as an entrepreneur is to get money right now. There is a limited window where you can actually access the cash that you need. So we just dumped $50 billion into the SBA system to make it easier than ever to access capital from SBA. Rates were just cut by the Fed to 0%. Okay, but like I said, there's a limited window, and let me explain what this means. When you look at SBA loans, when you look at a lot of loans that are based on revenue or cash flow, one of the number one things they look for is declining revenue or declining cash flow. So once your revenues start to decline, once you start to get impacted by this, then your ability to access capital is significantly reduced. So for example, let's say Florida comes in with a quarantine next week, which from all that I'm hearing is very likely. Well, then all of a sudden your chance to be a restaurant owner and get money is very dismal, because all of a sudden your revenues went to zero overnight. But right now that's not the case. So it is so important to take action now, because once revenues start to decline in your business, your ability to actually come in and get access to the funding you need is significantly reduced. There's also another problem. The other problem is the tightening of credit markets. So what we see is that in every recession we've seen, markets eventually tighten. Even though the Fed's cut the rate to zero and the money is available, eventually what will happen is lenders start to tighten up. Credit limits get smaller, loan amounts get smaller, everything gets harder to get. So right now you have a very limited window to tap into the $50 billion in SBA funding, to get the financing that's out there now with alternative lenders while it's available. Don't forget, when it comes down to getting money for you or your customers, I always refer this as the 3C funding acquisition formula. It comes down to one of three strengths: cash flow, and or credit, and or collateral. That's what it takes to get money. Okay, so if you want to get money now and you don't qualify for an SBA loan, which if you want to know about SBA loan qualification, tomorrow, Wednesday at 11 o'clock Eastern time, I'm doing a whole presentation on YouTube about how to get SBA financing at 11 o'clock Eastern on YouTube. If you want to know now, go to facebook.com/credit suite. I just did a whole live stream about how to get capital through this crisis, including how to get the SBA loan. But you need to know that you can get money for you or your clients through cash flow, credit, or collateral, whatever their strength is. If they have one of those, they can get a loan or a credit line. If you have none of those, it's okay. That's why business credit exists. Business credit can help your business fund itself, but if you haven't already started that process, you need to get it started right now. A lot of people watching this are our clients, are our partners, and you've purchased and you actually have access to our business credit building system, but you haven't taken action. You need to take action now. If you've built your business credit, your ability to get money through this is significantly easier than if you haven't. But if you haven't, it's not too late. So remember, focus on your strengths: cash flow, credit, or collateral. Okay, and if you have all three, you can get an SBA loan, tap into this $50 billion. And if you have none of them, you can still build your business credit. Okay, all you have to do is give one of our partners a call, give us a call, or go to creditsuite.com/get funding to be able to do so. Okay, be the first to educate. Okay, it becomes very important here that you create lots of new content to educate prospects and clients during this time. Look, I lived through the 2008 recession, and let me tell you what we do as a company right now that I think is pretty smart. Every time we do content, we make a duplicate copy that is designed for a slowdown and a recession, and we put it into a vault. Right now, our team has grabbed that content and is updating it all for the coronavirus, and we are putting it everywhere. Meaning that we have webinars, we have videos, we have PowerPoint presentations and articles and blog posts, all of this. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them stored away to be able to modify to the current situation and release into the environment. It's a very good tip for you to do in the future. But currently, you need to get to work and start producing information. You need to be seen as an expert in your industry. You need to be talking to other peers and other people and your customers about your knowledge and your expertise and what this is doing to affect your business and your customers. And you need to become the expert in that industry, and you need to be talking about how your customers are going to be impacted by this, what they can do to navigate it successfully, just like I'm doing right now today. I'm coming in and talking about these are all the best tips that I have. This is the things that we've learned to be able to navigate through this successfully. You need to be doing the same thing. There's a lot of people in your industry that haven't even started talking about the impact of this on their customers. So be one of the first ones that steps up and helps your customers understand what they need to know. Let them see you as the expert in your industry, and in doing so, you're not going to see a slowdown in your business like so many other people will experience. Now, beyond producing information and starting to educate, you need to start expanding your reach. Not only do you need to create lots of information to distribute and tell people about what's going on, but you need to share that content more than you typically would. You need to put it on more channels. You need to do it more often. You need to use influencers and their audiences to get the message out. You need to become a guest expert. Let me give you real examples. We usually do one Facebook Live and one YouTube Live every single week. It is Tuesday at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, and this is my second YouTube Live. I've already done a Facebook Live. We're doing one more Facebook Live this week. We're doing 2 Instagram Lives, which we've never done. We're doing one more YouTube Live. So we will literally triple the amount of channels and how often we are posting content right now, because we are doing everything to educate our audience on exactly how to get the capital they need to make it through this crisis. So for example, just earlier today we did how you can get money in a recession. We talked about the exact lenders. We talked about the exact programs you can go to get money right now. Tomorrow we're talking about how to get $50 billion in the SBA funding, how you can tap into that $50 billion to get your share to help your business mitigate this crisis. So we are releasing content like mad right now to help educate our audience, and you should be doing the same thing. When everybody else is retracting, when everybody else is sitting back, when everybody else is paralyzed and not taking action, you need to be helping your customers, helping your prospects, helping your peers understand what's going on by producing educational content and distributing it in ways that you never have. We are going to all of the influencers and all the joint venture partners that we have, and we are working with them individually to do live streams to present to their audience. Their customers are scared. They're business owners. They don't know what to do. So we're approaching them and saying, look, are your customers scared? Would Would you like us to get onto a live stream with you and explain what's happening and explain the way out? And they were saying, yes, please help. We are overwhelmed with requests and questions we don't know how to answer. So we are going live late in the evening with our influencers to help their audiences understand, okay, and becoming guest experts on podcasts, news stations, so many other ways. And in doing so, if you think about what happens, we establish ourselves to even more people as the credible experts. And in doing so, we can help those people get capital and in our end, not experience a slowdown and continue to grow as a company, even in a crisis. But it comes down to producing education to help your prospects, to help your clients, to help your partners, to help your joint venture affiliates and the influencers you work with, and help educate their audience. And if you do that and expand your reach and produce more information, then you may not see a slowdown at all. This might actually be a huge opportunity for you instead. You need to check the prices of your products as well. You need to focus on your most affordable products. Look, history has shown us that people will tighten up. They will get scared. They will not want to spend a lot of money. This isn't the time where you're going to see a lot of people going out and buying cars and getting home loans, even though rates are low. People tend to hold on to their money during these difficult times. That means you should have subscription products. You should have affordable products on top of your more expensive products, depending on what your model is. At Credit Suite, we have products that are $7,000 or more. We also have products that we don't even put on our website that are $150 a month, and even products that are more affordable than that. So we have a wider range of products. So even when the economy's tough and people are holding on to their money, we still have a lot of ways that they're able to tap in and get financing without us charging any upfront money for them to do so, right? Or we don't tack in any fees to the financing they get. We have a Genesis program that makes it very affordable for customers to build business credit and do so for less than a couple $100 a month. But we also have our $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $7,000 packages as well. So we have a wide array of product and service price points to help when things slow down. And if you're selling an expensive product, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000, $15,000, $25,000, it's going to be harder for you now than it ever has been before. So think about a subscription product that's recurring money. Okay, recurring money creates predictable income for your business, and predictable income will then help you come in and will help you make sure that you can actually rely on money coming in next month. That's in that instead of just relying on what you produce next month. Okay, and Sherislin might have pronounced it right. Has a question. How do we get nonprofit organization funding? There's a lot of different ways that nonprofits are able to get financing. Okay, you can get it based on your cash flow. You can get it based on your credit. You can get it based on your collateral. You could build business credit. Okay, we just did a great presentation today at youtube.com/credit suite that goes through a lot of different ways you can get funding. And if you're really interested in a full presentation where I show you all of that, then we're actually going to be going over that on Thursday at 11 o'clock on Facebook, where I'm going to show you a bunch of credit lines that work. If you want a resource right now to learn about, 30 different ways to get money, go to facebook.com/credit suite. Look at the live stream I just did at 2 o'clock Eastern, where I go through and give you at least probably 30 different ways to be able to get funding even as a nonprofit. So make sure you have your price points right. Offer more affordable products. Have a subscription. Even roll out some new products if you can to help your customer base. We are getting ready this month to roll out a product that helps business owners start a business, start and grow. Has nothing to do with getting credit. Has nothing to do with getting financing. It's everything you need to start and grow a business. That's timing is perfect with what's going on, because what happens is when things like this happen, small businesses get started, meaning the amount of people starting small businesses when things like this happen, when crises happen, is through the roof. A lot of people start businesses. So to create a course on how to start and grow a business and release it during this time makes a lot of sense. Now for us, the timing was just good on that. We've been creating that for months, and it just now happens that we're ready to release it right as this comes in. But again, think about other products you can create that don't take a lot of time, energy, and money to do so, but that can serve your audience during this time to expand your product line, to make sure you have affordable product offerings, and to make sure that you also have subscription revenue to create some stability in your business. Pull all three of the revenue levers. There are three main ways to make money in any business. You can sell to more people, you can sell more to the people you have, or you can keep the customers you have paying longer. Okay, in this kind of crisis, you need to address all three. You need to make sure you're attacking all three of these. Okay, so you need to sell to more people. I've already talked a little bit about that by creating educational content and by distributing it new ways and more times than you ever have before. You have a chance of reaching more people without spending more. When it comes to selling more to your customers, creating new product lines, or talking about upsells you already have to offer to them is a great way to do it. If you don't want to do that, think about affiliate programs. There's got to be thousands, if not a million products out there that you can set up with somebody as an affiliate and offer their product to your audience and get paid an affiliate commission. So that doesn't take you creating any kind of new product to be successful. And keeping your customers paying longer, there's a lot of things you could do on that. So expand your reach and lower your prices to sell more. Think of new products to sell and form affiliate relationships, or take action to increase retention. Give discounts to your existing clients, bonuses for them making their payment. Communicate with your customers and make sure that it's easy for them to delay payments or modify or lower payments to make it affordable. You need to attack all three of these levers. You need to sit down tonight and you need to think about how you're going to sell to more people without spending more to do it, how you're going to sell to more to the customers you have, and how you're going to keep the existing customers you have paying longer. And I just gave you a bunch of ideas for you to be able to focus on all three of those. You want to reduce prices and show some compassion. Okay, consider limited test of sales or discounts. Considering lower your price or doing a price rollback to previous levels. This shows you're compassionate and trying to help your customers through this. One of the best promotions we do is by notifying our customers that our prices are going up. Okay, it is phenomenal. It was recommended to me and we still do it today. And this next week, we were to notify our customers that our prices were going up. We are actually raising the prices on our partner program, and next week we're going to notify everybody and do it by the end of the month. Do you think we're still doing that? Of course not. Who raises their prices when other people are struggling? Not the type of person I want to do business with. So we did a 180. Instead of raising prices, we literally are rolling our enrollment prices back to 2017 levels. So customers that want to enroll with us to build business credit will now in 2020 be paying what they were paying in 2017. And we're doing that to make sure that we can make it affordable for business owners to access the business credit they need to succeed and thrive through this time. So that's just an example of a sale that we're going to do on a limited basis to test to make sure that this will help people. And if it tests and helps people by the end of the month, then we will consider rolling it out across the board until we all recover from this crisis. Show some compassion. This isn't the time to try to charge more to the customers that will pay to compensate for the people that can't or won't. Now is the time where you need to make adjustments to your margin. You need to think about making less profit. You need to make changes where you can afford to actually charge less to make it more affordable for your customers to be able to pay you and still buy during this time. You also want to cut all unnecessary expenses. This is going to continue for a while, okay? Everything. Now you're starting to hear it. Okay, we've actually heard the president specifically mention that this is going to go through the summer. We've heard the Fed literally said in a quote that we don't expect a real recession to happen because we expect things to bounce back by the end of the year. I don't know about you. I'm an entrepreneur. I can do the math. It's March. It's the first quarter. The Fed's talking about things bouncing back at the end of the year. That's December. I don't know about you, but I don't have 9 months to have slower people, less people paying, less revenue coming in. Most businesses don't. This is going to continue for a while. So you need to look over your financials in detail. You need to find any and all expenses that are absolutely necessary, and you need to cut or reduce those expenses immediately. Don't wait until you can't meet payroll to do it. You need to do it right now. The world has changed right now. Your business will be impacted. And if you're not selling surgical masks or toilet paper, there's a good chance you're going to see a reduction in business, not an increase. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just stating facts here. So you want to be prepared. By making these cuts before you need to, it's going to go a long way. Talk with suppliers, negotiate lower payments, negotiate longer payback terms. They know you're suffering, they know you're hurting. And if they are willing to work with you as we're willing to work with our customers, then they're going to work with you to negotiate lower payments or longer payback terms. Okay, so you never know unless you ask. These are great ways to reduce or cut unnecessary expenses that helps you be able to still continue to do business, but do it on a reduced level. And it's really one of my biggest pieces of advice is that, look, depending on the industry you're in, if you expect to see some kind of slowdown or even think that you may or already have, then now's the time to cut all unnecessary expenses, start renegotiating, lower all the actual expenses going out the door that you can, so that way you can afford to make less money but still survive, to still actually be able to succeed in this crisis. I can't tell you enough. Remember, in every one of these economic crises, there are people that will be talked about years from now. 2 years from now, there will be movies about people that took advantage of this and made all kinds of opportunities happen. Not in a bad way. Not people buying hand sanitizer, selling it at 100% markups like the crazy dude on Amazon that got busted. I'm talking about people that legitimately see opportunity to help people, and then in doing so end up create 7, 8, 9-figure businesses as a result of that. Those people are what legends are made of. They come out of every crisis because they take advantage of opportunities. You need the money available to take advantage of opportunities. Okay, and get in touch with Credit Suite to do that. 877-600-2487, or go and find another source if it's not us that you know and trust. But get access to the capital you need and watch closely for opportunities to help as many people as you can, and other opportunities that could really help put your business to the stratosphere, because I guarantee you that in the weeks, months, and years to come, you will hear and see the ones that took this and made it a huge opportunity and did amazing things with it. You can do the same thing if you're making and taking some of these steps that we're talking about. Change your value proposition. Look, more than likely your message is going to change. Ours has. We always talked about getting the money you need before you need it. We've always talked about getting money when you need it. We've talked about building business credit to make yourself more fundable when you need it most. Guess what? Right now, you need it most. Your time of preparing, your time of getting the money before you need it, the time of building business credit to prepare for a crisis are over. Now the crisis is here. So our messaging now has to change to our customers. And now our messaging is all about how to get through this, how to get the money in a recession, how to get the money when you're dealing with something like the coronavirus, how to tap into the $50 billion that SBA has, how to tap into the $50,000 no interest loan that Florida just released, and all the other states that are releasing something similar. We'll be releasing content about about SBA disaster loans. We're going to be releasing content about all the different grants that are available statewide, and the actual interest-free financing that's available, and the disaster relief that's available for business owners statewide. We are going to stay in front of this by getting all the information we can and changing the message and making sure that our audience has access to that information. You need to be doing the same thing. You need to focus on how your product service truly benefits your customer in this changed economic time. If you're still selling your features, benefits, and benefits of benefits now, like you were a month ago, you got problems. You need to change your messaging, because people are focused on completely different things today than they ever were before. I have 2 kids that are now staying at home, and they're staying at home indefinitely. Now they've got to be homeschooled. Right now the schools are coming down and passing the curriculum to the parents to educate those kids. I'm one of how many parents in the United States that's dealing with exactly the same thing. A lot of things have changed, so as a result, you have to change your messaging to really touch on how it's going to help people in the current economic scenario. You must focus on why they need to buy from you and why they need to buy now. It's very important. When this type of crisis happens, people pull back. They keep their money. They don't want to buy. They only buy necessities. So you need to change your value proposition, why people should buy from you, and you need to change it to why they should buy from you right now. Why they should take money when they don't even know more money's coming in consistently. They don't even know if they're going to have a paycheck weeks from now. You need to explain why they need to buy what you have, how it's really going to help them. Your message, your value proposition has to change. Customers need to see that your product and your service is necessary right now at this point of time to help them in the recovery. If they don't see that, you're going to have a very hard time selling any product or service if they don't see it as something that's really going to help them get through this or something is necessary that they need to get through it. So you need to start considering how you're going to change your messaging as an entrepreneur immediately right now. And most importantly, you need to not freeze, okay? Most are going to panic. Most will take no action. They're going to remain frozen. It almost honestly brings me to tears. I mean, I can just tell you going through what I went through in the mortgage crisis. And I can tell you being there. And I remember at the time my wife asking me what we were going to do. And I looked at her and I said, I don't know. I have no idea what to do. I have never in my entire life been as scared as I was in that moment. I can tell you exactly where I was standing in my kitchen. I can tell you what she was wearing. I can tell you everything about that moment. It sends shivers up my spine because I've never been so scared my entire life. I did what so many entrepreneurs did. I absolutely froze. I took no action. You cannot do this. Time is the enemy right now. You need to make changes right now. You need to develop an action plan right now. You need to go lock yourself in a room. You need to go get on a bike. You need to go for a jog. You need to do whatever it is you do to clear your head. For me, it's riding a bike. Okay, and I can tell you I've ridden many miles over the last week putting together an action plan of how I'm going to keep my employees employed, how we're going to help our audience, our prospects, our followers, our subscribers, our clients succeed and thrive during this time. Okay, so you need to be doing exactly the same thing. What are you going to invest in? What changes are you going to make? You don't want to be reactive. You need to be proactive. You need to think about worst case scenarios. What happens in a quarantine? What happens in a lockdown? What happens if there's no school the rest of the year? What happens if they shut down all restaurants and quarantine the entire state of Florida for 2 weeks, which is very practical, and you're a restaurant? How are you going to do that? What is going to happen in the next 2 weeks if your business is completely shut down and all revenue ceases? Are you prepared for that? Or are you really going to wait until it actually happens to take action? You need to get the funding you need early to take action. You need to make these preparations I'm discussing before you actually need to. You need a plan to cut expenses. You need a plan of exactly what you're going to do with the reduced people coming in the door as customers, reduced revenue, etc. How are you going to mitigate that? How are you going to get in front of more people, not less? How are you going to get in front of more people if you need to cut your advertising budget? These are the type of things that you absolutely need to plan on. And the Praiser says, love your channel teachings. Thank you for your video. Thank you. Cheryl Sharaslin asks, how much? Tell me exactly how much you're asking for and I can help you. I think, so I'm not sure the rest of your question. And Larry says, I love what you're teaching. Thanks, Larry, because this is mostly the secret criteria content that usually only our clients and partners see. Okay, you need to be a leader, guys. You need to lead. You need to lead. You can't lead when you're scared. You have to step up. You're freaked out. I'm freaked out. Everybody is freaked out. But right now, in this moment in your history will determine the type of leader that you are. You will either be frozen, you will take no action like I did in 2008 and sat there crying as my business went under and I could think of nothing to do to stop it. Or you can listen to people that are giving you very good advice, okay, and then listen to that advice that makes sense for you and start developing an action plan and take action. Mark Cuban, love Mark Cuban. He actually went live on LinkedIn yesterday and said, look, I'm going to do something I haven't done. Tell me what your questions are. Let me answer them. And he did. I went through post after post after post after post, question after question after question after question. And everyone had an answer from Mark coming in with a detailed answer of what he would suggest in that scenario. There's a lot of gurus out there right now that can help you and have good advice if you're willing to listen. Listen. Develop a plan and take action. Do not be frozen. I've been there before. You do not want what comes out the other side if you take no action. Now's the time to take action before you actually need to and before you're in crisis mode. And obviously, stay healthy, okay? You can't lead if you can't function. You need to follow what the government says, wash your hands, keep out of environments where it could be risky for you, okay? You need to take extra vitamins, supplements, work out, eat right, okay? First of all, every one of these things I recommend you do regularly. I do it. I'm in great physical shape. I work out. I take supplements. I eat right. I meditate all the time. And in doing so, I feel like even if I get hit with the coronavirus, I'm going to be one of the people that shakes it off and recovers just fine. I don't have any doubt of that because I'm extremely healthy because I take care of myself. But you need to be doing the same thing. If you haven't been doing that in the past, now's the time. If you want to be a leader and lead an organization, you need to be in good shape mentally, physically, and spiritually. You need to be. So right now, some of the best things you could work on are breathing exercises to control your stress, meditation. If you've never done it before, people like me with, ADD, where my mind's all over the place, it's hard for me to even sit in one place and meditate and calm myself down. But it is the best thing for me when I do. So I can tell you meditation, breathing techniques, these kind of things can help you a lot to not be reactive and be proactive and properly plan for what's going on. So that's it. I'm going to wrap up. Okay, for those that are used to being on my webinar, I usually go about an hour, and I don't want to string this thing along. You got a business to run and people to help. But I wanted to make sure that I got this message across today to everybody because these are the things that we're doing at Credit Suite to stay proactive. This is how we're serving our audience to help make sure that our subscribers, our clients, our partners are actually coming in to succeed. And these are a lot of things that I learned going through this once before in 2008, okay, and learning exactly what to do to make it through here. And a lot of you weren't there. A lot of you didn't own businesses. And I remember going through it at the time being blessed, feeling blessed that I was getting lessons that so few people would know a decade later. And now here we are a decade place later, and I'm able to take the lessons that I learned and apply them to actually get our business to succeed and thrive during this time instead of just survive. And if you're following any of these tips, let alone all of these tips, I really think that you're going to do exactly the same thing. So let me answer a few questions before I actually come back and before I wrap up. Okay, Sherilyn, man, I'm sorry I keep messing up your name. Cutting back to 2017 prices, join the program. What are the prices? If you're wanting to work with us, you can work with us, and this will start next week as our limited test. Okay, for our business credit program to build business credit, get financing, okay, and become fundable. Instead of it being $3,000 plus like it typically is now, it's down to 2017 levels, which is only $2,500, and we roll that into very affordable payments for you. But even then, if that's too much, it's okay. We work on specialized payments for you. We help you get financing to buy. Okay, we also have programs that we don't even advertise on our website that are extremely affordable. And remember, it costs you no money to get financing with us ever. We don't charge you front or back end fees. You pay whatever the lender's fees are, and we help negotiate that for you. So many ways you can succeed. Larry says, if your credit score is at 620, can you get a loan? Yes, you can. But you cannot get a loan with the bank. You're not going to go to Bank of America. You're not going to go to Chase. You're not going to go to Wells Fargo, and you're not going to get SBA. You need to focus on something called cash flow financing, financing that's based on your cash flow. You need to focus on financing that's based on your collateral, 401k, stocks, IRAs, bonds, equipment, inventory, account receivables, purchase orders, etc. Okay, or get a credit partner, a friend, a family member, investor that has good credit. Use them as a guarantor that can get you credit lines up to 150 grand at 0%. Those are some of your best options. Again, if you want more options on how to get financing, go to creditsuite.com, tune in, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and we will be going live and giving you all kinds of information. Or check out the Facebook Live that we did earlier today at facebook.com/Credit Suite, where we went through probably 30 different ways that you're able to get money. Larry says, if you want to start a new business, can a business loan without collateral, without 620? Yes, you absolutely can, but you're probably going to need to use business credit. If you want to start a business right now, congratulations. It's a great time to do so. You have finally decided to stop letting other people control your fate as an employer and control your own fate. And I love that, because even going through the mortgage crisis when I lost it all, I said I'd rather be the captain of the ship when the ship goes down than like be not the captain and watch somebody else drive it into the ground. Okay, so I mean, that's how I felt at the time. Now I have the luxury of actually seeing a business really succeed and thrive in a down economic time. So this is a great time to get in and start a business. There's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of people out there that need your help. When it comes to getting money to start a business, money comes down to cash flow, credit, and or collateral. In your case, a startup doesn't have cash flow. The next is collateral: 401k, stocks, IRAs, bonds, inventory, equipment. If you don't have that, it comes down to credit. Your credit, which is 620, which won't qualify you for financing, or a guarantor. So talk to family member, friend, potential investor. Okay, outside of that, you can build business credit. When you build business credit, you can get high limit revolving accounts at most major retailers. You can get high limit revolving accounts that are cash credit, Visa cards, MasterCards. You can get it without personal credit quality mattering, without cash flow mattering, without collateral. Business credit's the best answer. Besides just business credit to start a loan, there's also other options as well. Crowdfunding will work. If you go to Grant Watch, there's a lot of grants out there that can help you with that as well. So those are some options there that may work in lieu of you having the collateral, cash flow, or credit to qualify. Okay, and I also have George here. Are your lenders going to offer low rate and cooperate with the government's 0% program? Yes, they are, but you all need to know that those two things aren't synonymous. Meaning that just because the government's cutting the borrowing rate to 0% doesn't mean lenders are going to be offering 0%, but rates will be low and you can get loans. So let me give you an example, George. SBA right now, with this SBA 50 billion that was just dropped in, let me give you an example. You can get a rate of 3.75% right now through SBA. You can get a rate of 2.75% if you're a nonprofit. That means if you're borrowing $350,000 on a 30-year term with SBA right now, then you could get a payment of $1,600 a month borrowing $350,000. So rates are very low, but you have a limited window to take advantage, because what happens is if you go past that window, your revenues are declining and you're not going to get approved. Or markets have tightened up and you can't get access to the money, or the money's more expensive, or so many people are in line in front of you that what could take you a week or month now takes many months to get, which is well past the time that you need it. So time is of the essence. I also want to say, George, in regards to your question, and you're a partner, so you're in a partner webinar, and thanks for that. The other thing I want to mention is you can get 0% credit lines right now through our credit line hybrid program, and that's 0% credit lines at $150,000. You can get up to $150,000 and keep your rate at 0%, which is the best program you could access to help yourself get through this. Okay, so Mel says, if I receive business, George says again, are the lenders going to be more lenient with their qualifications during this period? The answer is absolutely not. They're not going to be. Lenders are not going to be more lenient. A lot of people are saying, does this mean the SBA will waive qualifications because of this new 50 billion? No, they're not. You're going to have to meet the same qualifications. Okay, what's going to happen in time is the qualifications are going to get more stringent because the banks are overwhelmed with the amount of people applying and they can afford to be picky. But right now, in this limited window we have, qualifications haven't become harder to get. It's not harder to get money, but it's not going to be easier. Qualifications are going to become the same, but that's okay, George. If you have a strength, cash flow, credit, or collateral, we can help work off that strength to get you the money you need. And being the fact that you're in my live webinar means you're a partner, so just get in touch with our partner success team, get in touch with your advisor, get in touch with your finance officer, and we can help you get the money based on your actual strength to qualify. If I received business credit on cards last year, should I ask for an increase or apply for different cards? What is the time frame I should wait? Abso-freaking-lutely. I recommend everybody, every 6 months, call your credit issuer and ask them to raise your limits. And here's what I tell you to do. Call them, say, I want to apply for a limit increase, but I will not authorize a hard inquiry on my credit report. If they say they're going to do a hard inquiry, abandon ship. Get out of the call. Don't do it. And here's why. If I go to Chase and my credit limit's $20,000 and I ask them for a credit raise, maybe they'll give me $25,000, right? Maybe they'll give me an extra $5,000. But they're going to put an inquiry on my credit report to get an extra $5,000. If I went to Wells Fargo and I got a new credit card, Wells Fargo would probably give me a credit card equal to the one I already have, another $20,000. So that means if they're going to do a hard inquiry, then you're better off to apply for new credit than get them to raise your existing limit. Every 6 months, you should call every credit issuer you have on the business and personal side and do exactly what I said. Hey, I'd like to apply for a limit increase. I'm not going to authorize a hard credit inquiry. If they say, yeah, that's no problem, we'll do a soft inquiry, or we'll just look at your current history with us, then I apply every 6 months. I do it. I think you should do it now on all of your revolving credit, and I think you should do it every 6 months into the future. And you said, what is the time frame I should wait? If you already got like the credit lines last year, the 0%, then apply again. After 6 months, you can go back to that funding source or get in touch with us, and we'll talk to you about reapplying to get even more credit beyond that. And Simel, gosh, I cannot pronounce names today, but I'm going to try my best. Simel says, my credit score is 830. Well, that's a Vantage score, more than likely, but that's very good. 830 means you're 720 plus on the FICO score realm, which is all very good. Okay, so that is going to work very well. You can be able to qualify for unsecured credit lines, 0% up to 150 grand, get a whole other round of revolving credit on your credit report, and go in, don't authorize the hard inquiry, but get your limits increased there as well. Okay, Larry said, okay, unknown party. Oh, that's literally what YouTube calls you, is unknown party. Says, was there a program that offered 50K that's not a loan? There's all kinds of them, but it just depends. So for example, right now, Florida's offering a $50,000 interest-free loan. Okay, there are grants you can get for $50,000 as well. And if you go to youtube.com/credit suite and type in grants, then you'll find training that we do just on how to get grants, and a bunch of grants you can get for 50 grand. So it is possible you can get 50,000 in grants, but the most of the 50,000 you're going to get that I've talked about either comes from loans and or credit lines or business credit cards. But the exception to that comes from in the form of grants. You can get grants from the city, the government, the Fed, or the federal government. There's USDA. There's a lot of those. And if you go to youtube.com/credit suite, we talk about a lot of those grants. I'm going to wrap this up. If you have any other questions and you are currently with us as a partner, then get in touch with your partner success team, your advisor, your finance officer. At the top right of your business credit building system, you type contact us, and all of our contact information is there, including the hidden numbers nobody knows. Okay, if you're anybody else that's watching this in a public format like YouTube, call us at 877-600-2487 or visit us online and get approved immediately, or get approved, not immediately. You'll actually go to our finance team and they'll get you approved at creditsuite.com/get funding, so we can help you get the money you need to be able to navigate this crisis. Keep an eye on our social channels. creditsuite.com, top right of the page, subscribe, like our channels. We're going to be going live on YouTube, live on Facebook, rolling out all kinds of content that will help you on a state-by-state level access all kinds of money as it becomes available to be able to mitigate the crisis. Thanks, everybody. If you need anything else, please reach out to us, 877-600-2487. Have a great day. Thanks, everybody.